Joseph Conrad. We have talked about the biography of Joseph Conrad. Today, we will be trying to understand why and what is the novel about, or novella. It's a short novel. So, what is the thing we will be seeing in Heart of Darkness? Heart of Darkness is a novel written by Joseph Conrad, as we know earlier. So, Heart of Darkness, first of all, appeared serially in Blackwood magazine, not first in the format of a novel, in a magazine, and the name of the magazine is Blackwood magazine, and that was in 1899. After that, it was eventually published as a whole in 1902. Okay? The third work in a volume, Conrad titled Youth. So first time it was published as a magazine serial. Next time it was published as a volume in the title, or in a work that is titled Youth. That is the background of this novel. And since the publication of the Youth, the novel, that means the Heart of Darkness, had a lot of criticism. Okay, and critics all over the world, they were trying to have a look and what is the novel about, what are the things, which are the things especially. And it uses ambiguity because why such kind of criticism came for the novel Heart of Darkness? Joseph Conrad himself said that is the matter of ambiguity. Ambiguity means spashtota, ambiguity, and to dramatize Marlowe's perception of the horrors. And the last portion of the novel, we see the protagonist, that means the main character, he pronounced these two words, that is the horror, the horrors. What does it mean? What does Joseph Conrad mean by the word horrors? Actually, he himself didn't explain it, and also the critic and the readers, as you are reading the novel, they will be trying to find out the meaning of the horrors. So what is the horrors? So there is an ambiguity and foggishness through the whole novel. And for this reason, this was a matter of criticism by lots of the writers and others. Critics have regarded Heart of Darkness as a work that in several important ways broke many structured conventions, brought the English novel into the 20th century. So, critics also observed that there is a style of writing novel. Okay? And in this novel, Heart of Darkness, Joseph Conrad broke the tradition. That is, the traditional ways of writing novel hasn't been followed in this novel, Heart of Darkness. So what is? So there will be the multiple narrator, there will be the unknown narrator, there will be the psychological involvement, and for everything, Joseph Conrad broke the tradition, that means normal way of writing the novel. And that is another point. Notable expectation who didn't receive the novel well were the British novelist E.M. Forster. E.M. Forster, most probably you know he has written a novel, A Passage to India. And this man, E.M. Forster, who disparaged the very ambiguities that and the other critics found so interesting. Okay, so E.M. Forster criticized this novel, whose novel? That is the Heart of Darkness. And next time, other critic like Chinua Achebe, okay, who derided the novel, and Conrad as an example of European racism. European racism. We know Joseph Conrad was born in Poland, Polish, okay, then Russia, and he had been working in several posts in European countries in the sea journey. Okay, so JnU wrote his novel on the basis of post-colonialism. Okay, Heart of Darkness is also a novel of post-colonialism, racism, and others. Okay, that JnU he said that actually Heart of Darkness, a novel written by Joseph Conrad, presents the idea of European colonial people. That means European colonial people tried to present African people as the other. So European people thought that they are white, they know many things about the civilization, they have the scientific and technological advancement and knowledge, and for this reason they are superior. Okay, so the being superior, the European power, they thought that they are superior. What does it mean? Other are inferior. That is also racism. Racism in which perspectives? On the perspectives of skin color, on the perspectives of the knowledge or the other things, knowledge of civilization and other things. Okay, so this thing was claimed by JnU. That means Joseph Conrad is a white or European racism or racist. Okay, that is JnU claim. But why that situation occurred, and what happened to the novel, and what happened to Congo? Because Congo is the setting where the novel, where we see the story of the novel, that is in Congo. আমরা নভেলের মধ্যে তো একটা গল্প পাবো, একটা প্লট পাবো, সেই গল্পটা কার নিয়ে? কঙ্গোকে নিয়ে। কঙ্গো হলো আফ্রিকার মাঝখানের, আফ্রিকা মহাদেশের মাঝখানের একটা দেশ। ওকে, তাহলে সেখানে এই হোয়াইটরা শাসন করত, এবং এই শাসন করার পার্সপেক্টিভসে সেখানে কি পরিস্থিতি হয়েছিল তার প্রেক্ষাপট নিয়ে নভেলটা লেখা। Okay, so কেন এই পরিস্থিতি তৈরি হলো? Actually, if we look to the background, that is in 1492, Columbus discovered America. Okay, before the discovery of Columbus, that means the American continent, the world map was like that. The first American continent was out of human history. Okay, and that means after the discovery of Columbus's America, and after that Vasco da Gama also discovered the waterways from Europe to Asia. Okay, so and for these two discoveries, and also for this, that is the invention of plane. Okay, so for these two discoveries, people, especially the sea voyaging country, Europe, France, Germany, Portuguese, France, England, they spread every part, every corner of this world. What is their motive? Just to get the wealth. Okay, just to get the wealth and treasure. Okay, so that is their motive. And same thing happened in African Congo. Okay, and we will be observing that situation in this novel, that is in Heart of Darkness. Conrad voyaged to the Congo in 1890. Okay, so that is the background, and especially Conrad himself, that means Joseph Conrad, the writer of this novel, himself voyaged, that means had an adventure to Congo in 1890. And when he sailed a steamboat up to the Congo River, just as Marlowe does in the novel, we see there are several characters in this novel. That is, the protagonist is Marlowe. Next time we see the manager. Next time we see accountant. Next time we see the Kurtz, Kurtz. Kurtz, that means the company's agent in that country. Okay, so these are the characters. Marlowe is the narrator. Marlowe told a story. Okay, and there is a similarity between Marlowe's attitude and the attitude of Joseph Conrad. Joseph Conrad was very much prone to go to ocean. সমুদ্র জার্নিতে তার অনেক বেশি আগ্রহ ছিল। লেখাপড়াই ভালো না, কিন্তু সমুদ্র জার্নিতে তার আগ্রহ। এরকম আমরা মার্লো যে ক্যারেক্টার এই হার্ট অফ ডার্কনেসের মধ্যে, তার মধ্যেও এরকম আগ্রহ দেখতে পাই। সো দেয়ার ইজ আ সিমিলারিটি বিটুইন মার্লো অ্যান্ড জোসেফ Conrad. So Marlowe can be the portrayal of Joseph Conrad himself. Okay, that means through the character of Marlowe. As Conrad writes of the novel in 1917 introduction, Heart of Darkness is experience pushed a little, only very little, beyond the actual facts of the case. Numerous biographical facts find their way into the novel. That means several clues will be there. The similarity between Marlowe and our writer of the novel Heart of Darkness, Joseph Conrad. Okay, and for example, like Marlowe, Conrad had always longed to follow the sea. Conrad has, excuse me. Yeah, put your mobile phone in the back, please. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, keep it in silent mode. Yeah, and that is, for example, Conrad has a desire for ocean or sea journey. In the same way, Marlowe had such kind of desire. And the wife of a distant relative, he helped him to secure a job. That means, wife of Joseph Conrad's distant relatives helped Joseph Conrad to get a job. In the same way, Marlowe got that job in a ship in the same way. Okay, so in the biography we have observed that Joseph Conrad got a job with the help of a relative. Relative means distant relative, দূর সম্পর্কের আত্মীয় দ্বারা চাকরি পেয়েছিল। মার্লো দেখবো যে আমরা এই নোভেলে সেভাবে সে চাকরি পেয়েছে। Okay, so that is the similarities. Conrad encountered several men who showed barbaric tendencies similar to the one exhibited by Kurds or Kurds, whatever you can say. So these are the similarity between Marlowe and our writer of the novel, Joseph Conrad. What makes Heart of Darkness more than an interesting travelogue? Travelogue, a novel or the novella or a story based on travel. Okay? Travelogue and shocking account of the horror is the way that it details. That means through the journey, that means Marlowe had a journey or adventure towards Congo. And through the journey, he observed some horror, some barbarity, some cruelty, some massacre, everything that appealed the world, people's heart. How it is possible a man can torture other in such a way? Not only with the physical punishment, they had no fooding, they had no others. Clothing, they had no shelter, they had no treatment. So maltreatment and the malnutrition, everything caused a havoc or massacre in Congo. That is the chief thing that appealed to the world's population's heart. That what happened to the story in Heart of Darkness. Marlowe's gradual understanding of what is happening is in this far off region of the world. Okay, so that is the history. Like many Europeans, including the creator, Marlowe longed for adventure and devoured accounts such as those offered by Stanley. But once he arrives to the Congo and sees the terrible work, he ironically calls it. So Marlowe list Congo. Marlowe কোথায় গেল? Marlowe কঙ্গোতে পৌঁছার পরে সেখানকার যে টেরিবল ওয়ার্ক, এই ওয়ার্কগুলোকে সেখানকার কাজ দেখে সে চমকে গিয়েছে। হাউ ইট ইজ পসিবল, কি হচ্ছে এখানে? হ্যাঁ, ইয়েস, অ্যান্ড টেকিং প্লেস হি ক্যান নো লঙ্গার হাইড আন্ডার দ্য কভার অফ হিজ কমফর্টেবল civilization. Joseph Conrad is from Europe. Okay, so he is from the civilized civilization, isn't it? But being a person of a civilized civilization like Europe, he was also astonished to see the barbarity and the things happening in the Central African country, Congo. Instead, all the horrors perpetrated by European traders. এখানে যে নিষ্ঠুরতা চলছিল, কারা করছিল? European traders and agents. Traders at first, After the discovery of Columbus's America and Vasco da Gama's the waterways to Indian continent, actually the European people started to move other parts of the world. What was their first motive? The first motive was to trade, business. That is their first motive. And next time, whenever they have got the taste of trade, treasure and power, বলছে এরা তো অনেক সহজ সরল মানুষ, এদেরকে তো সহজেই কবজা করা যায়। এরপরে ব্যবসার পরবর্তীতে তারা কি শুরু করলো? সেই দেশগুলোর শাসন ক্ষমতা দখল করা শুরু করেছিল এবং সেখানে তারা এজেন্ট নিয়োগ দিয়েছিল। So that horrors that was created in Congo, that is the Central African country, that was created by the European agents and traders, typified by Kurds. So that horror was created by agent. Agent, that means Kurds was an agent of European colonial power, and he had been working in Congo. Whenever we will be dealing with the story of the novel, then you will be understand that who is Cruz. So Cruz was an agent of European power, and he had been working in Congo. And the barbarity and the other things done massively by this person, the protagonist of this character of this novel, Cruz, and force him to look into his own soul and find what darkness lied there. Okay, and force him to look into. Actually, they thought that the whole African continent is dark, and Congo is within the center of that African continent. আফ্রিকা মহাদেশের মাঝখানে হচ্ছে এই কঙ্গো দেশ এবং কঙ্গো রিভার, এবং আফ্রিকা মহাদেশের পুরো অংশটা জুড়েই হচ্ছে কঙ্গো রিভার বিস্তৃত। ওকে, সো দ্যাট আফ্রিকান কন্টিনেন্ট that has been considered a place of dark, and the Congo is in the center of African continent, and that is called the heart. So heart of darkness, that is presented. In the first half of the novel, Marlowe states that the essential of this affair lay deep under the surface, beyond my reach. That means the deep thing, what is happening. But by the end of his journey, he will have picked beneath the surface and discovered the inhumanity or manubhatata, of which even men such as the once upstanding Cruz are capable. Observing the activity, that means Cruz, Marlowe, they belong to the civilization. Okay, naturally we see sometimes such kind of explanation, how it was possible to do such kind of thing by yourself. You are an educated person, sometimes anybody claims. So Kurz is a person of civilization. He had education, he has knowledge, he has everything that can make a person civilized. But that civilized person, Kurz, did the inhuman activities massively. So how was possible? How it was possible? Naturally, a civilized man will be sober, they will be human, they will be soft-hearted, everything. But Kurz going towards কঙ্গোতে যে তার অন্তরের যে সফট কর্নার, অন্তরের মধ্যে যে তার যে একটা শিক্ষা, তার যে একটা জেনারেসিটি, সমস্তগুলো সব কিছু ভুলণ্ঠিত হয়ে গিয়েছিল কার দ্বারা? ফর দ্য কজেস অফ horror of what? So if you are greedy, that means Kurz became the agent of European power, and he was so greedy, and surrendering all the good and soft notion of his heart, Kurz became an agent of horror, became an agent of cruelty, became an agent of inhumanity in Congo. That is Kurz. The end of the 90th century brought about one of the most notable examples of imperialism and genocide. Imperialism and genocide. So that we will see in this why such kind of incident happened. Have a look of this person. He is Leopold the Second. Leopold Second. আমরা লিখবো এইভাবে, দা না, কিন্তু এটাকে পড়বো আমরা কিভাবে? Leopold the Second. This man, Leopold the Second, King Leopold the II was the king of Belgium. From 1865 to 1909, near about 44 years, he was the king of Belgium. Possessed an insatiable greed, অতৃপ্ত লোভ। অতৃপ্ত লোভটা কি? এই লোভ কখনোই তৃপ্ত হবে না। Okay, so this man, Leopold II, was a man of insatiable greed for money, land and power, and looked to Africa to find them. So where he will be getting the treasure, land and power and money? Leopold II got that, yes, that African continent is a place where I can find treasure, where I can find money, and also I can find power as well. Like many other Europeans, that means Leopold II, intrigued by reports of Africa made by the famed explorer Henry Morton Stanley. This man, Henry Morton Stanley, Sir Henry Morton Stanley. This man, actually a journalist, Welsh American explorer, soldier and colonial administrator, and apart from all this, ইনি জার্নালিস্ট ছিলেন, নাবিক ছিলেন, এক্সপ্লোরার ছিলেন, ওয়েলস আমেরিকান, মানে আমেরিকার অধিবাসী কিন্তু ওয়েলস থেকে আমেরিকাতে গিয়েছিলেন। And especially he was famous for author and the politician who is famous for his exploration to the Central Africa, for his search for missionary and explorer of David Livingstone. Leopold II, উনি যে ছিল গ্রিডি, এবং তার লোভ কি ছিল? তার লোভ ছিল হচ্ছে ট্রেজার, অর্থ, মানি, পাওয়ার, ল্যান্ডের তার লোভ ছিল। এবং উনি সন্ধান পেলেন কোথায়? যে এই সমস্ত কিছু আছে কোথায়? আফ্রিকাতে। এর সন্ধান পেলেন কার? এই ভদ্রলোকের দ্বারা। কোন ভদ্রলোক? স্ট্যানলি। স্ট্যানলি ওয়াজ আ এক্সপ্লোরার অ্যান্ড অথার, and he had a voyage to Africa. After having his voyage, Stanley আফ্রিকা মহাদেশ ভ্রমণ করে এসে একটা বই লিখলেন। সেটা কি লিখলেন? বইটার নাম ছিল How I Found Livingstone. Livingstone, you know, like Tassiston, যেই পাথর, জীবন্ত পাথর। পাথর আবার জীবন্ত হতে পারে নাকি? Livingstone হতে পারে। Yes, if life can give you life, if stone can give you life, that is the Livingstone. So the title of the book written by Stanley, the title is How I Found Livingstone, Adventures and Discoveries in Central Africa and Through the Dark Continent. উনি দুইটা বই লিখলেন। কে? স্ট্যানলি। স্ট্যানলি কোথায় গিয়েছিলেন? আফ্রিকা মহাদেশে ভ্রমণ করতে গিয়েছিলেন। ভ্রমণ করার পরে তিনি 1872 সালে একটা বই লিখলেন এবং 1878 সালে একটা বই লিখলেন। এবং এই দুইটা বই সমস্ত ইউরোপিয়ান যারা কলোনিয়াল পাওয়ার, যারা দেশের রাজা, তারা এই বইগুলো পড়লেন। এবং Leopold II ওই বইটি পড়লেন, and পড়ার পরে he understood that, oh my God, Africa is a vast treasure of wealth, money and everything. And then he occupied the power of African Congo. Who? Leopold II. So Leopold II was a Belgian king for 44 years, and he became the king of Belgium, Congo, at his tenure. And he got the information through a series of machination and a deluge of propaganda proclaiming his munificence. Leopold eventually secured Congo. Okay, actually proclaiming his munificence means holo danshilota, and deluge, propaganda means telling one thing but not telling the true things. Okay, that is a false thing. So Leopold spread some propaganda. He said that I am very much soft-hearted towards the Congo, and Leopold eventually secured the Congo region of Africa as the Belgian colony. Okay. So after getting the information that Congo is a place of vast treasure, okay, from Stanley's book, Belgian Leopold secured Congo as a Belgian colony. And how did Leopold do? Leopold did it. Leopold এটা বললো যে আসলে কঙ্গোর অবস্থা খুবই খারাপ, সেখানে মানুষের জন্য খাদ্য, বস্ত্র, বাসস্থান, যাতায়াত, চিকিৎসা সমস্ত কিছুর ব্যবস্থা আমরা করছি। That is the spread of munificence. তার যে দানশীলতা কার প্রতি? কঙ্গোর প্রতি। এই দানশীলতার কথা বলে উনি কি করছিলেন? এই কলোনিকে বেলজিয়ান একটা কি বানালেন? কলোনি বানালেন। On May 20th, 1885, Leopold named his new nation, that is the Congo Free State. Okay. And the huge area of Africa remained under Belgium until control until 1960. Okay. So with that idea, Leopold controlled maximum part of Congo, and that was occupied by Belgian country until 1960. We know that Congo got freedom in 1963. Okay. And Congo was a perfect colony for Leopold II for several reasons. Why? What are the reasons? First, ivory and rubber. Ivory, what is ivory? That is basically from elephant tongue. Okay. So ivory and rubber were plentiful and could be systematically gathered and shipped to Europe. So that ivory, আফ্রিকা কন্টিনেন্ট, আমাদের চিড়িয়াখানায় যে হাতিগুলো আছে এগুলো অনেকগুলো আফ্রিকা থেকে নিয়ে আসে। হ্যাঁ, সেখানে প্রচুর বন জঙ্গল এবং তার মধ্যে অনেক হাতি থাকে। ওকে, সেই হাতিগুলোর দাঁত, হাতি মেরে হাতির দাঁত সেগুলো প্রসেস করে বিভিন্ন অর্নামেন্ট, চিরুনি থেকে শুরু করে বিভিন্ন অর্নামেন্ট পাঠানো হয় কোথায়? বানানো হয় ইউরোপে। এবং এটা হচ্ছে একটা খুব বড় বিজনেস। দ্যাট ইজ দ্য ফার্স্ট রিজন for Leopold. And second, the only law there was Leopold's. Leopold controlled Congo. Second thing is that Leopold became the only king. What he will say, that would be the role for Congo. Okay. Although he constantly presented himself to the European contemporaries as the philanthropist. Philanthropist, this means যিনি মানুষের ভালোবাসা নিয়ে মানুষের জনকল্যাণে কাজ করে। বাংলাটা হলো জনহিতৈষী। ইয়েস, থ্যাংক ইউ। জনহিতৈষী। Leopold ইউরোপিয়ান কান্ট্রিগুলোর মধ্যে বলছে, ইয়েস, আই এম আ ফিলান্থ্রপিস্ট, I love the people of Congo and I am doing my best to make their position best in this African country. হ্যাঁ, ইউরোপিয়ান কান্ট্রিতে কি বলছে যে আমি এদেরকে খুব ভালোবাসি এদের জন্য। সো কন্টেম্পোরারি philanthropist and humanitarian, Leopold ran the Congo without ever visiting it. Even Leopold কখনোই এই কঙ্গোতে, এই যে যত বছর আফ্রিকা কঙ্গো শাসন করেছে, একবারও উনি ওখানে যান না। Okay. But he was declaring the philanthropist or humanitarian ground. That means I am doing best for Congo. From a distance with an iron hand. Okay. And that is Leopold. And born in Brussels as the second but the eldest surviving son of Leopold the First, Louis of Orleans, Leopold succeeded his father to the Belgian throne in 1865 and reigned for 44 years until his death, and the longest reign of the Belgian monarch to date. He died without surviving legitimate son. That is Leopold II of Belgium. Okay, and established Belgium as the colonial power in Africa. He is best known for the widespread atrocities, you know, nishthurata. So Nishturata, Barbarata, yeah. So atrocities and that were carried out under his rule, as a result of which as many as 10 million people died in Congo Free State. 1 million is how many lakhs? For Leopold's humanitarian and philanthropist activities, 10 million people were killed or died at the time of লেপোর্ডস পাওয়ার। যখন লেপোর্ড এই কঙ্গোর নিয়ন্ত্রণে ছিল সেই সময় 10 মিলিয়ন মানে কত লক্ষ, 1 কোটি মানুষ বা জনসংখ্যা কমে গেছিল কার, এই কঙ্গো। They were killed or died at the time of leopard's rule. So that is severe the king. Okay, so that is the Belgian, and here Belgian, and he went from the Belgium, he went to rule Congo, and Leopold II didn't visit Congo. Okay, and the distance between, okay, here Congo, and you see in the map, here Belgium, UK, Poland, France, Italy, Ukraine, okay, and he came 6,282 kilometers away, that is the Congo. Can you see? Yeah. So this Leopold II didn't visit Congo at a time, but from this place he was dominating this country, and these are the sea poison country: Germany, France, Spain, Italy, and UK. Okay, they also spread all parts of this world. Okay, so that is the thing of Leopold II. The third thing, labor was plentiful. Okay, why the foreign investment, investors are trying to invest Bangladesh? Because labor are very cheap. Okay, 1 hour wage in European country, 1 hour wage is 1 ঘন্টার স্যালারি। 1 ঘন্টার স্যালারি হচ্ছে 10 পাউন্ড। 1 ঘন্টা আপনি কাজ করবেন, যেই ধরনের কাজই করুন না কেন, আপনাকে 10 পাউন্ডের নিচে দিতে পারবেন না। 10 পাউন্ড ইজ ইকুয়াল টু হলো 1 পাউন্ড হলো 120 বা 30 টাকা যদি হয় তাহলে কত হচ্ছে, 1300 টাকা 1 ঘন্টায় বাংলাদেশি টাকা। Okay, so the one condition of Congo was like that, the labor was very cheap, and more important, Leopold free, because his agent authority routinely forced the Congolese into slave labor by means of torture and intimidation. Okay, so Leopold II said few agent in Congo. নিজে তো কখনো যায়নি, সেখানে কিছু এজেন্ট নিয়োগ করেছিলেন কে, Leopold II, and through the agent, that agent did routinely some activity that is forced the Congolese into slave labor by means of torture and intimidation. Torture and intimidation. Intimidation মানে কি? ভয় দেখানো। Women, for example, were often kidnapped and held until their husbands and sons gathered sufficient quantities of rubber. That is there. তাদের ওয়াইফকে কিডন্যাপ করে নিয়ে যেত এজেন্টরা, নিয়ে যেয়ে বলতো যে তোমার হাজব্যান্ড এবং সান যতদিন পর্যন্ত এতগুলো রাবার না দিতে পারবে ততদিন তোমাকে ছাড়া হবে না। That is the situation in Congo. Fourth, there were few operating expenses. Okay. You see in many international match, Grameenphone, they invest, they are the sponsor. Can if Grameenphone put a station, a tower over here in this place, it will cover at least 40 lakhs people. But in Canada, if they set a tower, 4000 মানুষও সেখানে পাবে না। এজন্য এখানে কোনো কিছু একটা টাওয়ার বসে যত প্রফিট করা সম্ভব, কানাডা এবং যেগুলো দেশের জনসংখ্যা কম সেখানে 1000টা টাওয়ার বসেও অত প্রফিট করা সম্ভব না। ওকে, এজন্য কঙ্গোকে শাসন করতে লেপোর্ডের খুব বেশি হচ্ছে খরচ করতে হতো না। কি করতে হতো না? ফর দেয়ার ফিউ অপারেটিং এক্সপেন্সেস, হাটস আর মেশ হলস ওয়ার কনস্ট্রাক্টেড, কিছু কুঠির বানাতো, কিছু ম্যাচ হল বানাতো মানুষের থাকা খাওয়ার। ওকে, ফর দ্য এজেন্ট, এদের জন্য একটা এটাই অফিস করে দিত। অ্যান্ড দ্য কনস্ট্রাকশন অফ দ্য রেল রোড সিস্টেম রানিং থ্রু দ্য কঙ্গো গ্রান্টেড দ্য সাপ্লাইসেস অ্যান্ড কোচ ইজ ডিফারেন্ট স্টেশন কুইকলি, এবং সেখান থেকে কিছু রেল রোড স্থাপন করে দিয়েছিল, সেখানে কুইকলি এক জায়গা থেকে আরেক জায়গায় মালামাল নিয়ে যেতে পারতো। ওকে, এই জন্য সেখানে শাসন করা খুবই সহজ এবং সস্তা। কার জন্য? লেপোর্ড দ্য সেকেন্ডের। That is the fourth reason. And finally, the colony was thousands of miles away from the sheltered European skies. Okay, that means thousands miles away, 6,282 kilometers away from. এখন এখানকার জনগণ যদি বিদ্রোহ করে তাহলে বেলজিয়ান কিং এই লিপোর্ট এই 6,000 মাইল উড়ে গিয়ে কি রাজার বিরুদ্ধে বিদ্রোহ করবে? Okay, so that was the sheltered European skies. People couldn't condemn what they could not see. Actually, people can understand. The European people is European. To the European people, Leopold II said that I am doing the philanthropies and humanitarian activities. So the people, the European people would believe. তারা বিশ্বাস করতে যে yes, কঙ্গোতে ভালোই হচ্ছে যা করছে. But through the cover of his philanthropies activities, Leopold II did these barbaric activities in the Congo. Leopold agent therefore comprises of the chaotic, unforgiving and the hateful force determined only to make the most money possible by exploiting the natives. Natives means the Congo people. A Congo people that they were unforgiving, hateful, and often whipping them with a piece of sun-dried hippopotamus hide called the chicote. If the native makes a mistake, যদি একটা নেটিভ পিপল কোনো প্রকার অন্যায় করতো তাকে এক প্রকারের চাবুক দিয়ে মারা হয়। এই চাবুকটা হলো একটা লাঠির পিছনে সামনে একটা দড়ি থাকে এবং এটা দিয়ে তাদেরকে মারা হতো। ওকে, সো চিকোটি a long knotted whip with a wooden handle formerly used as a punishment in the Congo and the Portuguese Africa, chopping off their hands and heads and killing them by dozens at a time. So they Leopold's agent tortured the natives, that means the African people, with chicote and killed dozens at a time. That is the image of African people. So you see that these people ক্ষুধা, দারিদ্র এবং তাদের সবারই কি গলায় একটা করে শিকল বাঁধে রাখা হয়েছে। আর এইটা হলো চিকোটি, এই যে এটা, হ্যাঁ, এটা হচ্ছে হ্যান্ডেলটা উডেন এবং চারিদিকে হচ্ছে এটা এক প্রকারের ইয়া দিয়ে বাঁধা থাকতো এবং এখানে একটা নোট থাকবে, এটা হলো চিকোটি। এই চিকোটি দিয়ে তাদেরকে টর্চার করতো কারা? লেপোর্টের এজেন্টরা আফ্রিকান কঙ্গো থেকে। ইন দ্য রিসেন্ট স্টাডি অফ দ্য কঙ্গো, কিং লেপোর্টস গোস্ট, the historian Adam Husselt estimated that during the period of Leopold's palace of the Congo, the population dropped by 10 million people. So disease, starvation, a low birth rate, outright murder. Outright murder means with the click of the eyes, with the snap of the eyes, they would kill the natives. Outright murder all combined to turn the Congo into what Heart of Darkness later portrayed as a nightmare. So this is the situation in Heart of Darkness. In Leopold's Congo and the people, white and black, who populated it find their way into the pages of Congo's novel. The ominous company that hires Marlowe for examples, that is the thinly veiled depiction of the Leopard's operation in Africa. Okay, so these were the things that we see in Heart of Darkness. So Heart of Darkness is the novel. There we see a story that is the Leopold II, the Belgian king's domination in African Congo. And in that African Congo, at the time of Belgian's colony, Leopold II said that he was doing a philanthropist activities, but within the philanthropist activities we have seen the barbarity, atrocity that was severe for the people of African Congo. And with this story that we will see in the novel Heart of Darkness. And